Well, natural gas futures fell for the first time in 5 days on signs that weak industrial demand and rising production will push fuel inventories to record highs. For more on the outlook for oil, gas, and the energy sector, I'm joined by Matthew Rawls. Mr. Rawls is the president and CEO of Rowan Companies. He joins us now from Houston, Texas. Mr. Rawls, welcome to Bloomberg News.
Thank you, Mark. Good to be with you.
Sir, talk to us about the economy and the oil and gas sector. What have you been seeing?
Well, the principal thing that we've seen is the impact in a negative fashion late last year, early this year, with regard to the very severe downturn around the world. So that has hurt consumption, obviously, for commodities around the world, and impacting both oil on a global basis and natural gas here in North America.
Sir, one of the things that makes your company unique as a driller is the fact that you own your own manufacturing unit, Le Tourneau. How's the credit market affected demand?
The credit market has had a small impact in demand with regard to their business, as some of the customer base had difficulty financing their commitments. For the most part, that is worked through the system now. I'd say that by far the greater impact on their business is just that they're linked to new rig construction, which has slowed down as commodity prices have dropped.
We note that you sought to monetize the Le Tourneau unit, in the past, but you pulled the plug on that because of the situation, the economic climate. What's the status of that?
Well, we still intend to separate the two companies. It's not clear right now whether that'll be in 2 years or 4 years before we can get that done, or possibly sooner than that. But the credit markets did have an impact on the decision not to go forward with that, because there were some potential private equity participants who were no longer interested once credit tightened. I'd say for us going forward, what's more important than credit markets, which have loosened up pretty considerably for us, is just the underlying business and a turnaround there that would give us a positive trajectory that we could use to spin the company off or to sell or merge it with another company.
Well, we've had a lot of analysts and a lot of officials telling us here at Bloomberg over the past several weeks and months that it appears things are starting to turn the corner, that perhaps the worst in this economic recession is behind us. Given that as a backdrop, how do you see demand for jackup rigs in different parts of the world over the next 12 months?
Well, first of all, we certainly agree with your premise there, and I'm pretty optimistic about the improvement in the economy and the related impact on demand for hydrocarbons, and therefore prices and activity levels by our customers. So we are definitely seeing a higher level of inquiries already, tenders as we call them in our business, both on the offshore side and on the land side. There has been some new capacity that's come into the business, and so we haven't seen a strong impact on our pricing yet, but we would expect that through 2010 we'll start to see that. But let me say, as far as jackups go, I am very constructive on the long-term future for jackups, particularly those at the very high end of the quality spectrum like the Rowan rigs are.
Where are the areas for growth that you see around the world going forward?
Well,
and I mean specifically regions.
Right. Well, I'd say that we would expect that just about activity level in just about every area, with the possible exception of actually the North American Gulf of Mexico, is expected to see improving activity levels from here.
Would that be because of any lingering effects from Hurricane Ike?
Well, it's partly related to just the difficulties that hurricanes have caused over the last several years, going back to Rita and Katrina, and losses, reduction in the availability, and increase in the cost of insurance. But more than that, really, it's the North American natural gas price and the fact that there's been a lot of resources redirected toward shale plays, which have been very successful in generating new reserves. So I think that accounts for what we're seeing is historically low levels of jackup activity in the North American North American Gulf of Mexico. But let me say that once again, we are seeing a strong pickup in inquiries and activity levels in most of the international markets.
Right. Mr. Rawls, we have about 30 seconds left. Back in May, you announced layoffs, 8% layoffs. Any potential for hiring any workers back anytime soon?
Well, we're hopeful that we'll be able to bring some of these rigs that are stacked currently back into service, which would occasion us hiring more people. I think on the manufacturing side, we've reduced our staff levels there as well, and until the demand for new construction picks up, that's probably not going to pick up commensurate with what we see on the drilling side.
Matthew Rawls, the CEO of Rowan Companies, joining us from Houston. Mr. Rawls, thanks.